What's up, cutie?
So
So, I think I'm gonna move back to Minnesota because it's so crazy here
yeah,
until COVID dies down.
hope you do. That'd be dope. Wait, what's so much crazier there than here?
Well, everything's still locked down on
What's
the
up?
fires now.
Yeah, I mean, I meant in terms of coronavirus. Yeah, there's fires too.
Bro, the fires are terrible. I've only gone outside once today.
Yeah, what's it like breathing outside? Like,
It's kind of like a little worse than when you camp. You know, when you camp, it gets all smoky.
oh yeah, like
By
all
the
the time
fire.
though.
Yeah,
Damn, yeah. Like you're constantly in smoke. I guess that would make sense.
like you can
yeah.
see the smoke when you're outside.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of smoke here, but it's all up. Like it's too high up for. Hasn't like it's supposed to come down soon.
Yeah, we have a bunch of mountains and stuff, so it gets like trapped, and a bunch of highways. It's really bad. But Trump doesn't believe in climate change.
Hey, didn't he just like deny it? He said like it'll get colder.
He had tweets where he was like, "Oh, it's so cold in New York. We need some global warming."
I've seen that. That was so.
Bro, have you seen
funny.
his tweets are so terrible.
Yeah, I know. That's probably my biggest issue with him.
Yeah.
I think the tweets are an interesting way to like get his point across, but
I think it's
That's like
stupid.
the worst.
It's
it's irresponsible, but like I
If
just
you're
think
a
it's
president and you wanted to like divide the country even more, that'd be like one of the best things you could do.
And he said
Just
so much
Yeah,
tweet about
stupid
probably.
shit.
stuff on there. He's like calling chicks fat and stuff.
But he's like purposely antagonizing people. I feel like by doing that he gets like those shit bags to like him more. So
I would be perfectly fine with him if he didn't have that part of his personality. Like his
if he-
policies aren't that bad.
Yeah, me too. I'd like
So
it too.
I don't get what David said. David, isn't that like the worst part about him?
his just that he's a shitty person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or you just sheeping.
no, I'm not just sheeping. I feel like I'm trying to think of just Trump if he wasn't a shitty person. But yeah, I feel like his ego is his whole thing. Like without his ego, he's just like he wouldn't have the same sort of like backing that he obviously does.
I feel like he'd have without his ego, he'd probably have I think more people would support him without it. Maybe I don't know.
No,
I
I
would
disagree.
support
I
him.
feel like
Without
there's
his,
nothing like driving him as a person if like his personality wasn't there because I feel like that's the reason why
Well,
people like him and
there are
hate him.
aspects.
Yeah,
There
I
are
guess.
aspects of his personality that are.
I agree with David as to how he got elected. I think that's how. But if he would have switched
Oh
once he
yeah.
became president, now I think that would have been make him more popular. But the reason he won in the first place was because he was so anti-establishment, and he was just calling everyone liars and stuff,
Yeah.
which no one else was doing.
But yeah, if Trump wasn't a shitty person, maybe.
What else is bad about him?
I mean, I feel like just in general being a Republican is part of the
Bro,
problem.
sheeping, dude.
But like his like immigration policies. I mean, overall, like I'm benefiting from things like like obviously like capitalism, being a white person, but still, even being in that position, it's still like shitty.
What do you mean being a white person?
I feel like overall, like Trump is allowing a lot of like big corporations like Amazon and shit not have a lot of taxes. And I feel like he's not specifically helping like making more jobs. I don't know. Everybody's like bring work back to America, but I feel like it's past that at this point. I don't know. I'm
I
talking
mean,
about a bunch of different
I
things,
mean,
but-
Trump is we had like the lowest unemployment rates in the U.S. in the past like I don't know how many years.
Really?
Yeah,
It's like 100-year.
Damn. Didn't know that.
especially amongst Latinos and African Americans. They had the
Interesting.
highest rates of unemployment. And when you say like conservative, when you said like Republicans, like I'm not like just solely trying to like I'm defending Republicans here a little bit. When you said Republicans in general, if he's a shitty person in general because he's a Republican or something like that.
Or just
And I
based
mean,
on
it's like,
policy in general. I mean, I feel like I need to know more, but
yeah,
just
but you said something like because he's a Republican, like Republicans are shit. When like Republicans are, they donate to they make up like 80% of the donations to charities in the U.S. are from Republicans. Like,
I mean, I feel like there's so
they're
much
like
more.
shitty people.
There's so much more to it than charity work because I feel like overall it's more about making the system better than having to help the system because the
No,
system
no,
is
I'm
failing.
just saying like a shitty person wouldn't like giving his money out to
Well,
charity.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that like helps their case, but just like being, donating to charity doesn't like solely make them like, a god.
Yo, you guys have
No,
to
but
check out Jonathan Haidt. He's got the best opinion on political division ever.
what is
Yeah, I was kind of just thinking about that too. Is I feel like when I worded it, and I definitely have this like mindset, but I kind of think it is very much political divide. Like Republicans are wrong all the time. I feel like kind of gets washed in my brain. In the same way, I'm sure it's kind of the opposite.
Jonathan Heights?
I was talking about this, I don't know, I think it was like the first time we did this, about how the major differences between Republicans and progressives is like their discuss sensitivity. Jordan Peterson talks about this all the time too.
Oh, you mentioned this. Yeah.
And it's just, a lot of it is just genetic differences that put us, I mean, obviously where you grow up and stuff plays a role too.
It's
But-
epigenetics, not genetics.
Hmm?
It'd probably be epigenetics, which is just like your environment influences certain genes to activate.
Okay,
That'd be
epigenetics.
Because you're implying when you say it's genetics, you're implying that they're born that way. Epigenetics implies that they have those genes. Everybody has those genes, kind of, most people, but the way their environment is what makes it's a mix of their biology and their environment.
No, I'm just talking about genetics.
So you're saying conservatives are just born conservative with a sense of disgust?
I mean, it's
Like,
it's a part of both. But there's definitely people that are born leaning more progressive or born more Republican.
Yeah, you're saying they're born that way. It's just in their genes that they're just
Yeah,
born that way.
I'm not saying that the environment doesn't play a role too, but it's both.
So it would be epigenetics. It's both.
But not everyone has the same thing. You said for epigenetics, everyone would have the same thing.
No, but it wouldn't. Well, it would be like not everybody has the same genes. But I mean, for the like disgust sensitivity, everybody has. most
Oh, okay,
likely.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The
Mhm.
environment is what influences whether or not those genes activate.
So what would be an example of a genetic thing then? Like eyeballs,
Eye color, stuff like that. I guess
hair color? Because that's not, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
that isn't
Thank you.
directly activated through your environment.
Hmm.
But what are you saying? What does that have to do with politics?
So like progressives, they're like way more open to experience. And that's why they usually are like creative people are almost always progressive because people that are high in openness are usually creative. And then people that are conservative, they are obviously not as open. That's why like if you imagine going to an art museum and you see a naked person, the conservative will like laugh at the penis and the progressive person will like be like, oh, that's a beautiful statue, which is like a stereotype, but it's
Very generally speaking, but I get what you're saying.
yeah.
It's more like when those paintings were painted, it was painted by more progressive people, and the conservative people were usually the people. Like the Renaissance was orchestrated mainly by progressive people who started painting all these naked people.
Yeah,
I
that's
see
true.
your point.
But I'm also saying if you go to a museum and you have a
But
conservative,
you're saying
and
like
progressive-
now, like I don't know if you can say that now.
No, I'm saying that now. I'm saying conservatives are more likely to laugh at like penises and stuff than find it beautiful.
But they just can't appreciate art, is what you're
And
Maybe
no,
that's
they can
probably true.
appreciate art still, but people that are
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And there's like different modes of things, and conservatives, they have a mode that progressives hardly have, which is like the religious sacredy, which is like putting stuff in your body and stuff that goes along with it. And so that's why a lot of conservatives are more Christian and stuff.
And stuff.
Stuff.
I want to like learn how to talk, man. I talk so stupid.
Dude, I just feel like not
Let me
talking to enough people is what does that. And I kind of feel the same way, sort of.
I know, that's why, that was one of the
Like-
reasons I wanted to do this.
Yeah, you
I mean,
need to
you
like
gotta-
practice talking.
you gotta
like,
learn
is a
how to-
thing.
Best way to learn is learn how to write.
Mhm.
Learn how to write. You get very good at writing, then you get very automatically.
Because it's the same thing as thinking, writing. Jordan Peterson, clean up your room.
That's funny.
I mean, that's what
He's
they
got a
teach you.
funny voice.
That's what all like your professors will tell you. Even in like college, even in high school, that's what they tell us.
I just always hear that from Jordan Peterson. That's what made me want to. I've
I need
written
to
a lot
watch
of stuff.
I need to watch some more of his shit.
Bro, he's so good. You'd like
You
him,
like him,
David.
David?
Yeah.
Didn't you hear his song? He's in all of his songs.
Well, it's just my tag. I mean, I just literally
Yeah.
like
Do you like,
making that
do you like his
song.
values?
No. Making that song, I just like looked up like motivational speech, and then I kind of got into it, but I literally just threw it in the song and didn't think about it. I didn't actually listen to the whole thing. I haven't like listened to anything of his really, besides that like little clip that I've heard a billion times. But
I haven't met anyone that actually listened to Jordan Peterson and hasn't liked him. He's just so likable.
he's just like I don't know. I feel like with a lot of public speakers, like the one thing that bothers me about them is I feel like they definitely. I mean, obviously they're like giving like advice and everything, but from their perspective, I feel like they're like they can like basically sculpt the perfect life, but at the same time, like I doubt their lives are like amazing in any sense, and I'm sure they still have a lot of flaws that like they're not really like I mean, it's one thing to like say all these things and like do things to like benefit people, but I feel like in reality like people aren't like, I mean, like obviously, but people aren't actually applying those values as much as they could. But
Yeah, Jordan Peterson got a bunch of shit because he's been on drugs for the past year.
Yeah.
Antidepressants.
Got a
But
bunch of shit for that.
mhm.
Oh, I
Like
guess
liberal
yeah,
people. I mean,
wait,
I don't care.
why would he get get shit for being on antidepressants?
Not
Because-
that.
It's like a mood stabilizer technically, or
He was on
Benzos.
he was on antidepressants for like 40 years, and he got off of them. But then his wife got liver cancer, and then he started just having panic attacks and shit. So he started taking benzos like Xanax, prescribed like
he's off
prescription.
the
And
Xans,
then he got super,
the purse.
because that stuff is like it's the equivalent of an alcohol, like a serious alcohol addiction. And you'll start having like seizures and convulsions. Get off
When
it,
you go
so
off
it's-
it, yeah.
Those seem crazy, dude. I can't even imagine. Like, I feel like I've been through my life actively avoiding that stuff.
It's one of the biggest
Drink alcohol?
epidemics.
No, pills and everything.
No, but do you drink alcohol?
Do I? Not really. I mean, like some, but
Same thing, essentially. Xanax.
oh, it's like a
and
drunk
alcohol.
kind of feeling.
No, they have like the almost identical effect on your brain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I would laugh.
That's why they tell you don't take Xans and alcohol, because it's not like a
Doubles.
chemical reaction. It's not like some poison happens. It's the fact that it
Yeah.
just makes the effect so much more that your brain would end up like shutting down and your organs, heart stops beating and everything because your brain just gets too slow.
Yeah.
I
I've seen
think
people get like really like lazy and like demotivated on Xans. From Lil Xan, the rapper.
People get really
Xan.
anxious from Xan, which is so
Betray.
ironic.
Xan's going betray.
I think
Oh yeah,
everyone-
because sorry, you go.
Oh, sorry.
I think everyone should, their first drug should be a psychedelic. And then after that, they can do what they want.
Bro, I need a trip in my life right now.
That's
I
fair.
really need a trip. Like,
Because once you trip on that, it's like nothing else compares.
I would agree.
It's like when I drank, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so stupid compared to what I could experience.
Dude, I hate people that do acid just for fun and like pretty.
Oh, I
colors.
know. the
Like,
worst.
there's so much more like mentally to get out of it. Even though like it's not bullshit, but like you definitely just convince yourself things that are like just very typical like whoa psychedelic things. But I don't know. Shit's cool, and I feel like I don't know. It's like a really good thing to like landmark your life and do it every like 6 months or like 3 months or however increments of time.
I think when you start off, you should do it more. But then once you kind of get it, what you get from it, you should do it like once a year or like once every 2 years.
I feel like it's like you should do it when it like calls you. Not necessarily that it should be everything, but I feel like in general, like like I feel like right now, being at like kind of a turning point is usually like when it's like beneficial because it kind of just brings up things that you've already been thinking and already kind of like have thoughts on, but you can like really develop those thoughts and like I don't know. I feel like it just helps me like analyze my life as a whole and like be like, what do I want? What am I
Uh-huh.
not getting? All that. So
Well, you make your decision without ego, which is
yeah.
it's like the opposite of alcohol, or no, opposite of cocaine, which is just like boost your ego.
Yeah.
And cocaine, yeah, it's a completely different thing. Getting high on cocaine is like you're just super energized.
Yeah, like like if there's a spectrum, those are like the two extremes for drugs. For
Yeah, but I don't even
ego.
think you can like compare the two. Like I don't even think they're not even like I don't know. They're not
Well, I
even like the
mean,
same thing.
the only thing that
Like
like
near like none even close
compares
to.
them is they're just altering your brain essentially and making
Yeah,
you
like
like
so is
different.
coffee. Like cocaine is more similar to coffee than it is
Well, I
to.
mean, coffee is a drug technically
Yeah, I
because
know.
yeah, same with
Sugar is a
alcohol.
drug.
Cocaine is more similar to coffee. Hopping
Alcohol
in
is also a drug
taking
for
a
sure.
cold shower, taking a cold ice bath is more similar to cocaine than it is to taking mushrooms.
Have you done cocaine?
Yeah.
No, but it's the same. The reason people get so hyped up and feel so good on cocaine is because it releases a bunch of adrenaline or noradrenaline or whatever it's called. And it's the same stuff that makes you feel good after a cold shower. It's just when you take cocaine, you have like 500 times more of that stuff in your brain than if you were to take a cold shower.
I heard cocaine also really it makes you just feel like Thomas Slamzadeh, like you just have the hugest ego ever.
Yeah.
While you're high,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things about
yeah,
Molly.
yeah,
Kind of a
probably.
similar rush, sort of like
I'd
being on
say I
top of
feel
the
like that
world.
when I feel like that when I take a cold shower too. I feel like energized. I feel so good.
You
Cocaine is just
feel
that
do you
times
get a
like
bigger
500.
ego?
Uh, if I was to multiply that by 500, I probably would.
Yeah, I would never do that stuff. It's crazy. I'm very satisfied with what I've taken in my life. Like some people, they do stuff at like 14. It's so crazy.
I don't know. I feel like you've been like pretty reserved, which is good. Like I feel like you know the. I mean, from my perspective, it seems like you know the effects, and not that you aren't interested. You just like you just have a lot of self restraint.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I've done good with it. Because I think if you don't do anything, you gotta experience it. At least that's how I am.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Especially psychedelics. I feel like
Dude, I feel like if you did acid first though, like I don't know what that would do to me. Like I feel like I kind of needed to like be experienced getting high because like dude, getting high your first few times, like you're on another fucking planet. Like just because it's like so atypical in your mind, but like
But I don't like weed that much.
yeah, me
I don't
either.
like that feeling.
I wish I could say
Like
the same, dude.
I'll take some whiskey over that any day.
That's just
I love
preference.
like
I feel like
effects of alcohol way like I like it way more than weed. I can't
I don't know. For
do
me,
alcohol.
I just like being high because it makes me like feel like more energetic compared to like being drunk. I just feel sort of like heavy, and I feel like also like creatively, like I don't know, it just like pushes me in interesting ways.
Yeah, I mean obviously yeah, because alcohol just like slows you down.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but that's what I like just to kind of relax a little bit. Just like a
No,
little bit.
yeah,
Not to the point
alcohol's
where you're
good for
drunk,
some
because when you're drunk,
reason, but yeah.
I just don't like weed. Like I don't know, I just feel gross. I feel like icky. I don't know. Especially if I like smoke it out of like a blonde joint or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's like really the biggest thing. I mean, if you're talking more about the effects versus like the consumption, because I feel like the thing
Talk
about
about
like
that
weed is like
combined.
I know, no, but just in general, I feel like what turns a lot of people off and why it's gonna take forever to it'll never get to the same standard that alcohol is just the consumption. Like, I feel like they've made it a lot easier to like consume weed in like a very like just nice way. Like your White Claw weed kind of thing, but like because
What's
there's
that?
like well, I'm just saying, like, as an example, like, White Claws are very, like, like, entry level, like, anybody can drink them. Like, they're just sort of, like, you know,
White Claws are like a beer or something.
yeah, in the equivalent of, like, there's, like, vodka and there's, like, White Claw. There's, like,
Yeah.
fucking, like, dad pens and, like, wax or something. Or
Yeah,
picking
yeah.
your bong up or whatever.
Very concentrated forms of it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
never
it's just
had edibles.
there's more process really. Yeah, edibles is another like really like entry level where it's like I feel like it can just for solely like based on the effects and comparing them, it's like I feel like yeah, there's not a same ickiness or whatever you were talking about because you're just like I mean I've gotten past that like it never really bothered me in the first place, but because I don't know I feel like in general just with drugs overall like they're fucking up your body in some sense. Like I kind of feel like smoking weed and alcohol, like drinking alcohol, are gonna have the same effect in the long run. I mean, obviously differently, but I feel like in general they're probably both deteriorating me to some extent. But that's like kind of to be expected because that's what it's doing in the first place.
Mushrooms don't. They're good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's also the thing is like in limited consumption they can all be good for you, but
No. It's like a healthy thing to eat.
shrooms are cool.
It builds myelin in your brain. Those
Have
connections.
you done shrooms?
hmm
What's your opinion on shrooms versus acid?
They're both. I mean, I like shrooms a lot more, but they're so much more money, and they're really gross to eat.
Yeah, yeah. I did not. Dude, I put them under pizza, and I did not taste it at all. Like, so I had a pizza,
That's
took
funny.
the cheese off, put the shrooms under, crushed them up, and then put the cheese back over and ate it. And it was like
It sounds
easy.
good.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I honestly could eat them straight. Like, I don't think I get that disgusted by that type of stuff. At least just because it's just like taking a shot for me. Like, I don't know.
The ones
So-
I ate had like mold on them, so it's kind of gross.
Oh yeah, that might be why.
It's a mushroom, bro.
Yeah. Wait,
It's
aren't
good
mushrooms
mushroom.
technically mold?
No, it
I
had
think so.
serious mold on it, bro.
Oh, damn.
Like not edible mold.
Did you like throw up?
No, it wasn't too bad. I'm
Okay.
pretty. I have good disgust. Like I don't get disgusted by stuff really.
So you're liberal.
No, libertarian is the lowest.
I see.
That's me. I mean, I'm not libertarian either. I think going to any group is really stupid.
Aren't
Yeah.
you? You're always like I'm all about freedom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely the closest to libertarian, but I don't believe in completely freedom. Like, I think you should have to protect the
Oh.
environment. I don't think you should be
Yeah.
harming people. I don't think you should have to wear a
Guys,
seatbelt.
Thinking about saving up some money and getting a handgun.
A handgun.
Bro, that's
To
such a
protect
waste
yourself?
of money.
Or
No,
what
you
do
can
you
have
need it
like
for?
$200, $200-300
Oh.
bucks. Like
Oh,
Like
yeah,
what
go
do you
ahead.
what do you need it for? To protect yourself?
no, I want to like take it to shooting range and stuff.
Oh,
Try it out.
okay. Okay.
And
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess that's
and once I turn 21, maybe carry a little CCW. Get my CCW
I
license.
guess if it's only
I feel like
200, I would do it.
For me, I
Yeah,
feel like
there's
there's
like
no reason to
there's some you can
carry.
get for like the quality ones you can get for like 200.
I thought
300,
they were
they're
like
random.
2,000.
No, dude, bro, like the
Tons of-
most
yeah.
you'll pay for one is like 1,100, and those are like the really big high end brands. Like Glocks are like $500, $600. You can get used ones for like 200, 300.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, my dad wants to go to gun ranges too.
Does he
Like,
own any right now?
Guns. He just has one of those like lead pellet guns. You know what I mean? Well, it's not little; it's a big one, but it's like it shoots little pellets.
Um, Back to the political thing. I was gonna say this, so I forgot about it, but I just remembered it. Another, but you need both sides. You need both conservatives and liberals because they balance each other out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're always going to balance each other.
What would happen if you only had liberals?
If you only have liberals, it's that's just complete chaos. Where it's just like the most extreme on that is, like, well, either, but on both sides it's tyranny. Like if you go to like Marxism, communism, that's where they're taken by force and just dividing everything equally. So that's obviously terrible.
Yeah, you obviously need a balance, like either way.
But then if you go too far right, that's like Nazi tyranny. You gotta be in the middle. Because the conservatives, they're like all about the individual rights and, pulling yourself out of your bootstraps. And then the liberals is more for the weak person, helping the unfortunate. And it's both valid. I mean, I think you want to have a society where everyone has equal opportunity, which economically, if you're born in like a poor family, I don't think you have equal opportunity as someone that can pay for their kids' SAT and stuff,
For sure.
Why wouldn't you have equal opportunity?
Because the fact that they can pay for their kid to get an SAT is not equal because the other person can't pay for it.
But wouldn't that would just be, I think that would be unequal outcome, not unequal opportunity.
Well, I feel like that's just like a bad,
you still have you all still have the same opportunities to
do well on the test.
I might be wrong.
Well, I mean, I feel like the thing is like, I think you might have lagged out.
Probably wrong. Maybe
Back.
either both themselves and work like from a, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I feel like by being in like a worse situation, you're more set up for failure. Is kind of the gist. So like, obviously,
I'm talking from like a legal standpoint, or like a.
Yeah, no, I'm saying they both have like in this scenario, like, but past the cost, they both have the same opportunity to like do well in the test, and like they're taking the same test. But it's more about like preparing for that test, like. Naturally, if somebody's in a worse situation, they might have to do other things that, like, they might have to, like, spend their times in other ways that, like, the person that is in a better situation would never have to, type thing. But yeah.
I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is they still have the equal institutional opportunity or legal opportunity, whatever the hell.
Yeah. To like,
I guess
you're taking the same test is what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and they still have, if assuming like, I mean, they can still get same jobs and work the same jobs. What I mean? Assuming there's no discrimination or whatnot.
But I mean, I feel like the thing is like also like having a society where like, even when you're in that bad situation, you're able to like work out of it. Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like personally, like it seems like people can work out of it if they really have the dedication to get out of their bad situation.
Yeah, I think it's all gray. I don't think it's black and white, but I've definitely become much more liberal in the past like 2 years than before I was. I was all about individual stuff, like in high school, but like just thinking about poor families and stuff, like if I was born in that situation, I would probably be similar to all of them, like you need money to make money a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And so much of it is like not even.
Jeep left. Oops.
Yeah, keep going. It's not even like education. It's like how you're raised by your parents and stuff, is so important.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the thing. It's like, being in a worse situation, like, like parents might be working two jobs or whatever the situation is. Obviously, like, money is earned through time, and by having more money, you have more time.
Hmm.
That's kind of like,
I don't know. There's a lot of rich white people that are about to die. Or no,
yeah, I mean, obviously,
I
like
don't
that's
know.
that's I guess that's also the thing is, time runs out at some point because you die, but yeah.
Yeah, time is like. What do you think is the most valuable resource?
I would say time, but also it's the least valuable at times because like, I hate wasting time. Like I fucking hate wasting time, especially when like, I don't know, like times like this where I have so much time, and I'm like, I would appreciate this a lot. I would appreciate my moment a lot more if I was actually busy or other, but stuff like that.
Oh
But
my bad.
you're good. But like because I have so much time, I'm just like I don't know what to do with it all, and I just kind of feel like I'm like wasting it and like using up my life to a certain extent.
Yeah, I used to say time, but now I think it's attention and what you are paying attention to is the most valuable resource. Because even if you have a bunch of time and you're just like worrying about stuff, I don't think that's.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love meditating. I haven't been meditating though, man. Gotta get back into it. I finished Sam Harris's course, and then I kind of stopped. Have you meditated, David?
Um, have I meditated? Not specifically. I feel like I have ways of meditation that aren't necessarily like I don't think about it as meditation. I'm just kind of like, do my thing. But like I feel like drawing is a sort of kind of meditation for me. And sometimes I just sort of like sit in my room in silence just to like not necessarily zoning out, but just sort of like appreciating the silence at times. And I feel like that could be sort of looked at meditating, but not I've never like gone out of my way to meditate, I guess.
Yeah, people always say stuff like that, like, "Oh, I meditate when I run and stuff," but I think that's BS.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like, it's so different if you're actually consciously paying attention to
Yeah.
things.
So is meditating just basically like explain it what exactly is meditating?
Well, there's different forms, but usually when they're talking about it, they'll be talking about mindfulness meditation, which is when you're just aware of everything that's consciously around you. You can do it with eyes closed if you just want to focus on the breath, which is more, that's like Vipassana. But I like to have my eyes open and then soft focus, and you just look at everything. And anytime you have any thought, you notice it. And, or if you have a feeling on your body or a scratch or something, you just notice it and you just
Mm.
experience it at the most.
That's how I feel on acid or when I'm
No,
high.
it's exactly like that.
Yeah,
When I was
yeah.
really deep into it when I was doing that course and I was doing it every hour, I was meditating for 5 minutes. It was like I was starting to trip, like the same
Yeah,
visuals were
bro.
happening.
Yeah, dude, I trip myself out sometimes. Sometimes I'll just be like really focused in on something and then I'll start seeing it like move or like some like feeling or something just comes so sharp and I'm like, shit, this is like the same sensation of like being like high to an extent. But also that's the thing, it's like I feel like by being high more and stuff, I feel like I would experience those things more. Like I don't know, I feel like I'm taking away the rush of things sometimes by like, getting high so much.
Yeah, they gave psychedelics to like experienced monks that meditated like every day for 16 hours, and then they're like, what do you experience? And they don't experience anything. Like it doesn't even affect them.
Just because it's the same thing. But it's
Mhm.
like so much less. Yeah.
I mean,
Huh.
every time you like right now we're hallucinating. Like this is not how the actual world is.
Don't say that.
It's true though.
uh, what do you
Like
mean by that?
your brain creates a world that is most suitable for us to survive and not kill ourselves. But like we don't know for sure that this is exactly how it is. You know,
Yeah,
when
I
you're,
mean,
That sounds like a lot of
everybody's.
bullshit.
I mean, to an extent,
No,
everybody's
man.
living in their own bubble, and like they're kind of like making up. I mean, everybody. It's like perspective is what it is. Like nobody's completely unbiased and has a completely like neutral view on the world because everybody has opinions, and like I feel like
color doesn't exist. It's just the light rays hitting off your eyes and going into your eyes. And like when you tripping and stuff, your visual perception is totally, you're not just seeing random stuff that you create. You're seeing you're seeing your environment, you know?
yeah, but I mean, but like color exists. Like it's just not. I feel like the way you're trying to phrase it is, or like how you should have phrased it is like color. It's different for everybody, and once again, that's what perspective is. Is like everybody has their own set of eyes and sees things differently. But you're still looking at the same thing, and like you're still having the same opportunity of seeing the same things. If that made sense, but
Yeah, but like, I'm pretty sure cats, they don't see color, or like they just see blue,
Dogs.
or like that.
Yeah, but that's because they don't have the
thing in there, right?
neurological capability to see that. It still exists there. It's not necessary. It exists in the light. I guess
I'm saying it exists, but I'm saying what we're seeing right now is not a 100% picture of what exists. Like we don't see UV light right now, or all the different senses.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
know,
feel
yeah.
the gravitational waves. And you're like, it's proven that you consciously hallucinate all the time. Your brain is creating the world around you in real time.
Yeah,
I feel like
I don't really understand.
it's really interesting, like the internet, and like it's very like surreal, like being on a video call, because it kind of like takes away from the senses and makes it like it like flattens reality in a sense. And it kind of, for me, like with that, like there's an element of video call that doesn't feel real to me.
Well, it might not be. It might.
Well, yeah, yeah. That's just like the one thing I feel like
You could
kind
be in
of
the Matrix right now. Just
I could
the
be, but
aliens
I feel like
have your
yeah,
brain in a
obviously,
vat. The only thing you know for sure is that you're aware.
hmm yeah. But obviously the thing is like, you can't constantly be like it's good to question reality, but you can't constantly be questioning it. Like you have to be like there's a level of just being sound with how things are in order to like function as a human.
Hmm.
So, I don't know.
No, I agree. But that's just how my brain works. I always think about that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I feel like simulation theory and that kind of stuff has never like really interested me because it's just like it's too what if and like if so like okay whatever like or not
Oh,
not,
yeah.
not okay whatever but like I don't know. I feel like I need to like see any real like things to happen to like really affect me in a certain
Well,
way.
statistically, it's like the most probable explanation for. I don't think it is, just because that's just how I'm experiencing it. But statistically, it makes the most sense that we would be in a simulation right now.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the progress we've made so far and how we can simulate stuff, if even there's a 0.1% progress every year, if a person exists for 100,000 or a civilization exists for 100,000 years, that incremental progress will eventually lead to it.
I also feel like with simulation theory, like the more you think about it and the more you're like, in the scenario where it does exist, everything is meaningless and there's just no point to anything. And that's why I kind of hate it, I guess.
So do you think life has meaning right now, David? It's about to cancel. You're also gonna be
Yes.
one.
Yes, I do think life is
We'll
meaningless.
come back to that on the next one.
Part 3.